my co-host, Dr. Robert Marks. Dr. Marks, how are you? I know you're excited about our guest today, aren't we? Aren't you?
Indeed, I am. I watch Gutfeld all the time, mainly due to her and to Tyrus.
All right. So we're
Mhm.
welcoming Kat Timpf to the program. Kat, how are you? A new book coming out. You got to be excited, right?
Oh yeah, I'm great. I'm very excited. Yeah, it's out tomorrow.
I mean, and it's something. Is this your first book you've written?
Second book, and I wrote the last one last year. And I got the idea for this one actually when I was going on tour with the first one because I really just found I went all over the country for my last tour. Doing it again for this next upcoming one. I'm going back on tour all over the country again, starting this weekend. But in my first tour, I really found the more places I went. I mean, I'm talking from Portland, Oregon, to Midland, Texas, to St. Louis, all over the place, Detroit. I found that a lot of us, we really want the same thing. And the more I research, a lot of the research in my book really backs this up that we do really all want the same thing. And a lot of us, most of us do. But we just have different ideas of how to get there. And really, if you want to win over someone who is different from you, then the way to focus is, the way to do that is kind of focus on what you have in common first. This we've been conditioned to kind of believe that just because someone's from the opposing political party or has different political views, that person and you will have nothing in common. And it just isn't true. And this book is a guidebook for how to do that and how to connect and why you should want to also.
Go ahead, Dr. Marks. Your question.
Yeah, Kat, this is Dr. Marks. I really like the idea of your how binary thinking divides us, because as you said in
Mm-hmm.
your trailer, as soon as you latch onto a political party or an ideology, all your thinking is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you have, you choose a side, you don't have to think because all the thinking has been done for you. The problem is when you're not thinking, obviously that leads to some pretty stupid outcomes. And it's also on a personal level, it's really sad because what politics does is it makes us fight with people who we actually know on behalf of people who don't even know anything. And
There's
I think that's really sad.
No, it is. And I, in medicine, can see it all the time. In the last 10 years, the art and science of medicine has been distanced because now it's protocol medicine. You Physicians use the art and science. Today, we use guidelines and protocols. So that same bad thinking has seeped into even the profession of medicine. So you're on the right track.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think, we really need to be able to work together. And this book also is a fun read. It's something I'm scared for it to come out a little bit because I'm very vulnerable and I put a lot of very personal experiences in the book, things I've never talked about before. But it's really in the hope that other people can do that too. I mean, that's on purpose, right? That I really think that if you're more vulnerable, it makes it more likely that someone's going to have compassion for you. And if you want to be seen as human, you got to be willing to show that you are a human. So that's what I do here. And I think it's really important because we do have a lot to lose. I think with the conditioning of the two sides, this binary thinking it works great for government and for media. It can get you to use division of think it's a great idea for you to give up your own rights, for example. But we really do have a lot to lose. So I really hope that I really do believe if everybody read this book, we would be a better country.
Now,
Oh, I tend to agree.
what's really interesting, Pat, when you talk about this specifically is remember back in the day, I mean, for myself, my age, Republicans and Democrats could have a conversation at the table. We could talk political and not want to kill each other, right? Not say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I would like to give you an example. People would be upset at me if when I interview a certain right wing Republican on my show and say I will boycott your show. I will never do your show. I've had people say this. I've seen that you've had Republicans on, so sorry, I'm not coming on. What has happened? Because
Mm-hmm.
we are alike in so many ways. We just our political ideology could be just one or two different topics. That's it, right? Nothing else. Everything else we completely agree on.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, and I get it from both sides, right? Honestly, I mean, I'll get it sometimes from the viewers of Fox because I'm independent. So if there's an issue where I'm not conservative on a lot of issues. Some I am, depends on what it is. I don't fit neatly into one party box or the other when it comes to my views. And I'm honest about that. And so I will get it from the viewers of Fox sometimes. I'm a bad person. I should be fired. I should be taken off the air. But then there's some people on the other side that won't even talk to me at all because I do work at Fox. So as horrible as that can be, I would never change a thing. For all the value I've been able to get out of being someone who has so many valuable relationships with people, even with whom I may disagree on politics. I have friends who are really super Trumpy. I have friends who are Republicans who hate Trump. I have friends who are to the left of AOC. I have friends who don't even know what's going on in the news. And all of them are valuable relationships to me and so on. But
we all have.
It's going to write this book, right?
100%.
I think everybody to some extent goes through this, but we act often as if we don't.
Yeah, this is Dr. Marx again. I live in Miami, and I'm a little bit mad at you because of all your tours, you're not coming to Miami or to Fort Lauderdale. The closest you're getting to is Naples this December.
Last year.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, last year, but yeah, this year I am going a few different places in Florida. I am going to be in Naples. That's definitely probably the closest, but I'm going all over the country. So I'm going to be on tour every single weekend. I'm pregnant, so every single weekend, pretty much till I give birth, with maybe 2 weekends off, like Thanksgiving and Halloween.
Oh, well.
I hope you don't deliver on December 14th, because that's when I'm going to be in Naples. I'll help you deliver if needed.
I'll be glad to know you're there. So I'm going to be very pregnant. That's my last weekend.
I'm sure. I know that stuff.
All right. So, Kat, basically, what do you hope the readers get out of this book that buy the book? You want definitely Republicans and Democrats to pick it up, not just Republicans. And what do you hope that for them to learn?
I hope that they'll learn that just one difference of opinion doesn't mean that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about a person. And I want people to be kind of wake up and open their eyes to the ways that they've been manipulated by politicians and media, and the way that they kind of weaponize your emotions against you. And no matter what happens with this election, if everybody could take this message to heart and be vigilant, we would be in a far better place. We'd be a far better country. And I would feel far more certain about our freedoms staying in place.
I personally like your message. I think it applies to almost everyone, and somebody from medicine, I know it applies there.
Thank you so much.
You know, Kat, I think that honestly, the Harris campaign is playing that kind of mindset, in which is giving them the opportunity to be up in the polls because of her seeming like she's reaching out to the other side. That again, that's an important thing, because if you're just going to stay to your base, it can hurt you at times. You really got to be able to reach all the people in some sort of way to get elected. It's part of the process. Maybe you'll run someday, right?
I would never do that. I've done a lot of things. I've got plenty more to do, but the one thing I don't ever see myself doing ever is running for office. I have enough issues making my own decisions. I got no motivation whatsoever to, try to make decisions for other people via legislating them.
All right. Go, Dr. Marks. Last question for Kat.
Well, last question is, how did you start doing this, marrying comedy to really deep philosophical discussions like you're doing with the individual thinking?
Well, I think that a comedy is a great tool in terms of getting people to listen, because not everybody wants to be preached at. I think most people don't, but everybody likes to laugh, which is what I think has been a strength in my books, both the last one and certainly this one, is that they're not boring. They're definitely really fun to read. They're funny, and I expose myself a lot, all for the sake of the cause. So I think it really is. It's on purpose. I mean, it makes it more likely the message is going to be across because the message is at least entertaining in its delivery.
All right, pick up Kat's book. I used to like you until how binary thinking divides us. Appreciate it, Kat. Thanks again. It's available tomorrow everywhere. Thanks again.
Congratulations, Kat.
Thank you.
All right, that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Dr. Robert Marks Show, guys. Take care.